What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. You know, anyone that has been driving in ride sharing, whether driving for Uber or Lyft, will tell you passengers are often going to push the limit. You're going to have passengers that want you to take them to destinations that you'd rather not go. Folks trying to put children and infants in your car that don't even have a damn car seat. There is always the passenger that wants to smoke a cigarette or vape in your vehicle against your will. Nevertheless, if there is one thing that remains true, one piece of advice that we can give all drivers that is probably the most important, it is to never get into an argument with a passenger.
New tonight, a Lyft driver was hurt after a passenger stabbed him on North Drive in Dayton. The Dayton police sergeant told us this happened just after 5:30 this afternoon. He said there was an argument between the Lyft driver and the people he was picking up over how many of them he would let in his car. The fight ended with one of them stabbing the driver. Now, DPD said his injuries were minor and he did not go to the hospital. Investigators said they're still searching for two people.
I cannot stress this any stronger. Do not argue with your passengers. Now, in this case, obviously, the driver did not want as many folks as they were trying to put in his vehicle. Perhaps they were even trying to put more folks in the car than he had seatbelts for. I've had that happen, and I'm sure many of you have had that happen, where you got somebody trying to put 8 passengers in your damn car. Unfortunately, the ride-sharing companies, Uber and Lyft, particularly Uber, has created this culture of entitlement where many of the passengers do not believe drivers have a right to say no to a damn thing they request. So when a passenger asks you to do something, they believe you're obligated to do it. All of this independent contractor moniker does not sit well with passengers. They don't treat us that way. They don't believe you have the right to say no to anything. And Uber does not have our backs on virtually any issue. So in this case, for instance, had they not stabbed this driver and they simply reported what went on, where they got into an argument with the driver, Uber would have probably, or in this case Lyft, would have probably deactivated them, because they don't have our back on any damn thing. So when you're out there arguing with your passengers, understand you're going at it alone. You're on your own, which means it is not advisable. And in this case, not only is it unprofessional to get into an argument with a passenger, it's unsafe. It is unsafe. In this case, it sounds like one driver is getting into a battle with several passengers, and it leads to him being stabbed. How the hell does catching a rideshare trip end up with you stabbing some damn body? This is why I keep promoting. It is important to discriminate. Don't pick every damn body up. You show up to a place to pick somebody up and there's 6 people standing by the curb, drive off. And the reason I'm telling you this oftentimes too is because there is no upside for us drivers to take on trips that have a bunch of adults. In fact, it's a negative to you because it's putting extra weight in your car, which burns a few extra pennies in gas, but it also leaves you open for extra wear and tear in your car for all the additional number of people in there. And at the end of the day, Uber and Lyft do not give you a single penny extra for all these extra people. Whereas in the taxi market back in the day, you know, as a taxi driver, you get $1 or $2 for each additional adult. Why the hell Uber decided to remove that extra source of income? Well, they were catering to the passengers. They don't make anything out of it, and they don't give a damn if you make anything at all. So they just pass that extra expense or that extra responsibility on down to us drivers. Take as many adults as they put in your damn car. But that should have never happened in the first place. But I just wanted to bring this to you. It doesn't sound like this Lyft driver has been significantly injured, but he did get stabbed. There is a mental worry that comes along with driving, and all of a sudden somebody is perpetrated this much violence onto you. I mean, you are willing to stab a person over this little shit? Just cancel the trip and catch the next damn car. And for the driver, it's difficult because once you got 4 or 5 people in your car and they're trying to put more of them in there and you're telling them we can't take any more, you can't just physically kick all these damn people out. And if they're starting to get rowdy and they're refusing to leave, this is where trouble can develop. Now, the last thing you want to ever do is tell a passenger that's in your vehicle sitting behind you, get out or I'm going to call the police. Those are trigger words for a hell of a lot of people to begin beating your ass. This might be a case where you have to temporarily abandon the vehicle. But once again, they may trash your damn car. There are videos of drivers that were in fear, got out of their vehicle, and then the rowdy passenger just trashed their shit. So there is no good upside to having a car full of people that refuse to follow the instructions you're giving them. You certainly can't fight with 4 or 5 people. You can't necessarily abandon your vehicle and hope that it remains intact. So it becomes a matter of do what's best for your safety, which is to, unfortunately, you might have to sacrifice your vehicle. And once again, as I stated, you can't depend on Uber or Lyft to have your back. So they may not even credit you from the passenger's account for any damage they do to your car, assuming they don't take the whole damn car outright. It's a messy game, folks. It is a messy game, and I cannot state it any more than this. Uber set us up for this by creating a culture of passenger entitlement. They essentially treat us like fucking peasants. And when you don't do what they want, oftentimes the result is violence, or at the very least a bullshit complaint, sometimes even where they fabricate and generate details, and then Uber or Lyft responds by just deactivating your ass. It is a awful situation to be in, but just wanted to bring this video to you just to let you know it is never in your best interest to argue with passengers. Even if you keep your defensive tools on you, which I always advise with every passenger, every trip, every damn time, you should be armed with something. Mace, something to slice or poke with, and or a firearm if you're comfortable with that. What do you do in this case? Have you ever had to argue with a passenger? I mean, were you ever in a situation where there was no other avenue but to get into a damn argument? Which, like I stated, is not advisable. If so, what the hell were you arguing over and how did it turn out? I'd love to know in the comments. As always, it's your boy Tim. Subscribe to the damn channel and I'll see you in the next video.